What up, y'all? It's your boy, Matt Micah. And yeah, I know, man. It's been a little while. I keep telling you guys I'm not going to take such long breaks. And then I do. I've been trying to use a new software recently for recording my videos. And I just more often than not have been running into a lot of technical difficulties. Honestly, it's user error. It's not the app's fault. It's just like I'll record a video and there's no sound, or I'll record a video and just like the placement's weird or the camera is weird. It's a lot that goes into it. So I do apologize for my inconsistency of videos, but I do plan on ramping it up here sooner rather than later. I'm just trying to figure out a consistent schedule that I'll be able to post on. With also working and going to school. I start school in May, so I do want to come up with a consistent posting schedule before I start school. But if I don't, please bear with me. I do see that there's still a few subscribers coming in, so I do appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'm Mad Micah, and this is basically like a little talk show. I don't know. We get on here and we discuss different topics. And today we're going to be talking about the feeling of not feeling like you're enough. That is something that I have struggled with a lot, honestly. That is something that has severely crippled my mental over the last couple of years. Just not feeling like I'm enough for, a girl, or not feeling like I'm enough for a job, or not feeling like I'm enough for my friends. And ultimately, it really just boiled down to me really not feeling like I was enough for myself. And when you're feeling that way, it's very hard for you to show up, or for you to represent, or for you to even reciprocate back to the people who do feel like you're enough, the people who do appreciate who you are, exactly how you are. You don't need to give them any more or any less. They accept you for who you are in your current moment, but you don't accept you for who you are in your current moment. So you're constantly overthinking situations, overanalyzing things, doing more than you should, or, not doing the bare minimum because you have thought yourself into thinking that you're already doing too much when you're not doing enough. And buildup of those things in multiple different situations can ultimately lead to your demise. And if you're going through life and you're feeling like you're not enough, it can really become detrimental to your overall mental health. It can cause you to start having ideations. It can cause you to lose people close to you. And it can honestly cause you to lose your sense of self, because you are going day to day feeling like, you're not enough for what you're doing. And that means that you're not giving it your all. You're not giving your 100%. You're probably ultimately going to get fired from that job. You're probably ultimately not going to last very long in those friendships or those relationships that you're trying to get into. Because when you go home at night and you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't enjoy the person that you see. You feel disgusted by the person that's looking back at you. And that's not very good. That's not helpful. It's very hurtful, if anything. And so realizing that I was feeling like this, because for a long time, I was doing different things to seek validation, or, I was overplaying my part in situations, or I was underplaying my part in situations, constantly overthinking things. And I just didn't know why. I didn't know why I was doing these things. I didn't know what I was doing it for. And ultimately, I didn't know what I was hoping to get out of this rash behavior that I was, displaying. And, at the end of the day, it always just left me feeling or wanting more. It never filled the void that I had created within myself. And so, having this, what is the word? Having this realization recently has been an extreme hurdle that I've leaped over recently in my journey. And I've been able to not only identify the problem, but I've been able to start doing things to help me feel like I'm enough for myself in different situations. Like, for instance, I decided to stop drinking. I know I'm only 24. I've never necessarily been an alcoholic or anything, but I just felt like more often than not, when I would get into situations, whether it was public, social, at the club, whatever, I was coping with drinking. I was coping with alcohol. I was making myself feel like I was okay in the situation by getting intoxicated. And I realized that contributed to my feelings of not feeling like enough. So I stopped drinking. And recently I have been going out in more public situations, and I've enjoyed it. I've been able to enjoy myself. I've been able to enjoy my own company. And a lot of people don't understand that they're even feeling that way because, everybody else is doing it. They feel like, they're young, their turn, that's what they're supposed to do when they go to the club, get drunk, right? No, you're just supposed to have fun. You don't necessarily need to be intoxicated to have a good time. And I feel like that is a very bad coping mechanism that people push on the younger group, and even the older group. You think if you're going out to have a good time, you need to be under the influence of some sort, whether it's you just smoked you a blunt, or you had a couple shots with your friends before, and you're gonna grab a couple drinks while you're at the club. Whether it's, some people, they like to, or whatever it is. And I'm realizing that I don't need that. I don't need that extra for anything to make myself feel validated in that current situation. I can be very much okay with me and myself, and I can still have fun no matter what happens, no matter who I see, no matter how the night goes. I can still be okay. And that alone, this one situation alone has filled me with so much more validation than anything that I was doing in my past to seek validation combined. So I really have been feeling great about that. Something else that I've been trying to do is I've been trying to smoke less. I love smoking marijuana, not cigarettes. Never me. Never smoke a cigarette. Please get out of my face with that. But I've been trying to stop smoking as much because it is another coping mechanism. Whenever I'm feeling anxious or sad or whatever, I light me up a little bowl pack. I roll me up a little J. But I realized that, again, I was using something to escape from my current reality. And, it's good to do that after you've accomplished something. It's good to do that after you've had a long day, or, after to reward yourself. But when you're using it as an excuse or as an escape, that's when you have to realize it's starting to become substance abuse rather than, help. It's becoming more of a hindrance than a help. So I've tried to step away from, that coping mechanism rather. Like, I'm not necessarily stepping away from the Mary Jane, but I'm trying to step away from using it in a coping manner, if you get what I'm saying. Another thing, I have been trying to severely decrease my lust. Not only is lust a sin, but lust is crippling. It is something that will make you view the world differently, view women differently, or whatever sexual orientation that you like. It'll make you think a certain type of way. And ultimately, you don't understand that if you're abusing your freedom or your self-pleasure nature of masturbation, it becomes detrimental to your mental health. It becomes detrimental to the way that you value yourself. And it becomes detrimental to the way that you carry out relationships. That's how people become addicted to sex. That's how people disrespect one another by thinking too sexually about a relationship, or because people in general, not just women, but mainly women, are over sexualized in this day and age. So, whereas before, you genuinely had to win a woman's heart over to get in her pants or to see her without clothes on. But now, most girls have OnlyFans, or most people are porn stars or whatever. So it's just like it takes away from a sense of genuineness in relationships. But for me, it was just another version or another outlet to seek validation within myself, and seek some type of comfort within the loneliness, or seek pleasure in solitude. So it was just it's something that I've been trying to step away from. It was very much a problem. I very much was addicted to corn, so it's not something I'm very proud of saying, but it's something that I'm glad that I identified. And even though I identified the problem a while ago, it's been hard to try and eliminate that problem specifically, because more often than not, I don't go up to women out in public and shoot my shot, or slide in the DMs or anything like that. So as far as it goes for me and that type of validation in my life, that's where I get it from. So it's been hard for me to just try to kind of accept that I'm okay with how I am and where I'm at in my life, no matter if I have a relationship or not, or whether if I'm freaking beating my meat or not. Like, that's ridiculous. And at a certain point, it becomes embarrassing, when you're doing it so much. You're like, dude, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm literally wasting my life looking at these freaking porn stars and OF models. Like, this is ridiculous. So it's definitely something that you should identify younger rather than older, and you should try to get rid of it sooner rather than later. So that's number 3. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've done to try and get that sense of validation for myself. If I think of it, I will let you guys know. But yeah, I, for the first time in a long time, feel very refreshed. I don't necessarily hate myself. And I feel like that is the ultimate problem that comes down to it with a lot of these situations with people that have ideations, or they have anxiety, like different things like that, is that they're not confident in who they are within themselves. They feel like their confidence stems from their family or their friends or their romantic interests or their partner, or whatever that may be, their position at their job, whatever that may be. So people just don't really think that they are enough for themselves, so they seek validation or some type of reassurance. It doesn't necessarily always have to be validation. It's reassurance that we're looking for within people, places, things, objects, whatever it may be. And you have to understand that you can reassure yourself. You are enough for yourself. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. I don't know how many times I can express that, but you are enough. You do not need anybody else or anything else to tell you your worth. Your worth stems from you. You were born enough. You wouldn't have gotten a chance. You wouldn't have been the fastest swimmer, or you wouldn't be here if you didn't have a purpose, if you didn't have a reason to be. So you have to understand that no matter how much the world tears you down, whether it's your favorite person, your best friend, your mom, your dad, whatever, no matter how many times people doubt you, you have to believe in yourself more than anybody else believes in you. Because if not, your dreams will fail and fall, and it won't even be necessarily your fault. But ultimately, your demise is always your fault. Because if you don't push yourself to get to that next level, you don't have anybody else to blame but you. You can say, oh yeah, these people, nobody was messing with my dream. Nobody was really rocking with me like that. But you got to rock with you 100%. And you got to figure out what works for you. And yes, you do have to appeal to the people at a certain, to a certain degree. But you still have to remain true to yourself at the end of the day. You got to show people who you are. You got to show up and show out. You got to be the best in every category, the best at your category. And you have to be confident in not only your speech, but you have to be confident in your presentation. You have to be confident in, your skills. You have to be confident in what God gave you when He bestowed you the blessing of life. So just always remind yourself that you got this. You and you. No, you don't need anybody else, because everybody else can't be there for you all the time. Everybody else has their own shit to handle. They got their own stuff to deal with. So you got to realize that at the end of the day, when the night ends, the next morning is going to be there. So you can either sleep it off, or you can stay up with your anxious thoughts and waste the time that you had to get refreshed and ready for the next day. You can't do anything about today except for leave it where it's at and improve on it tomorrow. But if you lose the ability to plan for tomorrow, or to plan for opportunity, then you're just gonna get lost. You're gonna get stuck in the crowd. You're gonna get mixed up, and you're not gonna succeed. You're not gonna succeed, because you're allowing yourself to be shackled by your own anxiety, by your own inner thoughts, by your own I don't know. It's okay to be hard on yourself, but it's not okay to hold yourself back. We've made videos before in the past about other people holding you back, or other things holding you back, but ultimately, you are your biggest shackle. You can be your biggest shackle, but you can also be your biggest supporter. You have to understand that if nobody else believes in you, believe in yourself. It doesn't matter if it takes years and years and years and years for your idea to pop off. If you believe in it 100%, if you think it's great, if you think it's amazing, keep at it, keep going. I'm not saying get stuck in that. Always venture out to different things, see what works best for you, but never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your goals. Never give up on your aspirations. Nobody can control your circumstance but you. So just don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't allow that to go over your head. Don't allow this message to go over your head. Don't allow this video to go over your head. Like I said before, you are enough. You're enough for me. Like I said before in the past, I would appreciate if you guys commented more, or if more people coming past my page were to hit the subscribe button or whatever. But it doesn't matter. You're enough being a viewer. You're enough being a for the people who have subscribed, you're enough being just a subscriber. You don't have to be a subscriber, a commenter, and a liker to me. I appreciate every single person who does anything for my channel. I appreciate every single person who's shared my videos, every single person who's liked my videos, every single person who's viewed my videos, who subscribed to my channel. So you're enough for me. So just work on being enough for yourself. Don't get so caught up on trying to be enough for everybody else, because once you're secure within yourself, I promise you, everybody else will be secure with who you are too. But if you're having doubts about you, other people will have doubts about you too. They can feel that anxiety. They can feel that disingenuous. They can, like, you know, people aren't stupid. And the older and older you get, the smarter and smarter people get. So you have to realize that you're okay being you. You know, you're uniquely, beautifully, and wonderfully made. With that being said, that's gonna be the end of the video, guys. I love you guys so much. Make sure that you leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that post notification button to see when we post. It's been your boy, Matt Micah. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.